In terms of the markets that we look after, I think the partnerships that we have, they have to have an understanding of the market and what our clients need. And I think Global Relay have been around for a long time now, and obviously, as ECI had too, and we understand the market implicitly together. I think that's why we have a strong partnership. The changes that we've seen recently are kind of down to distribution in two parts. Firstly, the distribution of compute and data going from kind of on-premise technologies now into kind of more cloud-based technologies, and then secondarily the people. Going back to the first point, I think when it comes to the data, it's easier now to consume new services quickly because there's less barriers to entry. If you want to test out a new system or your old system isn't working, you might have had to let that, from a commercial perspective, see out its life cycle before choosing another platform and then moving. Whereas now, because of the more kind of operational based expenditure of IT, you can select a new platform and generally kind of move it a lot quicker. Therefore, the data placement is moving around at a pace where sometimes the policies and regulations can't keep up. And so that's the challenge. And equally, where people are working from, and the communication lines aren't traditional kind of hub spoke anymore. They're very much kind of modular and people are communicating not just into company, but with other companies and third parties a bit more freely. Therefore, we need to really make sure that we understand how they're all connected together. Fortunately, as technology is improving, I guess, and the abilities that we have now on public cloud services through things like APIs are making it easier for us to manage our data. And also security is a huge focal point for new systems and people. And I think we do take into account not just the security of identity, but data and how to secure it in different platforms. So that's a big challenge, both in the kind of data and with the people. And then looking forward in the next 24 months, I think it will carry on, as it has done previously, in terms of people moving to different platforms quicker. I think that's only going to increase and be more agile. And that's going to be a challenge for us to make sure we can keep up. I think we've done it pretty well through the pandemic. And I think moving forward, we'll do it in equal measure. And lastly, I'd say another challenge will be people. We know that the labour market at the moment is tough and people are moving around because of some social factors around where they want to work and if they want to work more from home or in the office. And also there is a bit of a shortage of talent out there within the financial markets. And I think what that's going to cause for us and our clients is maybe a bit more outsourcing, maybe using more platforms where they can save a bit more time and cost rather than doing it in-house. And the market's rife at the moment with technology that helps people to do more with less. And so we're going to start to see that a bit more in the next 12 to 24 months. For me, the differentiation between Global Relay and some of the competitors you have is, again, how you keep up with the needs of the customer and bring that into the platform. For example, we talked a lot about how the market's changing, both from a labour perspective and doing more with less. I think the kind of workflows and things that are built into the platform, if I was a compliance officer, it would save me a lot of time. Maybe people too, where you might have, assistants that are going out and running some of the reports and doing some of the kind of capture alongside the compliance officer. And we know in the alternate space, companies are kind of shrinking operationally as kind of fees are being more scrutinised and they're having to do, again, more with less. And so having Global Relay's workflows that are built into the platform, I can see has been a big benefit to these firms that are using the services and partnering with ECI and Global Relay. I think also one of the big things within the private markets is ESG. And there's a couple of key factors here with ESG. First one, obviously, governance kind of stands to reason. As you have an element of governance around what you're doing and how you're investing, you need to make sure that the employees are kind of staying true to that. And also you're doing it within the right regulatory frameworks. Obviously, Global Relay can help with that. And then on the social side too, where people are communicating more freely, they're being more scrutinised on what they're saying in different channels and different places. And I think when it comes to how Global Relay help our clients do that, we talked before about the machine learning and AI, where you can go in and pick up some flags that might occur before you're kind of searching for them. It just gives you a broader sense of what your employees are saying and how they're operating. And that's not like because you don't trust your employees, it's just because sometimes people don't quite understand the ramifications of certain things when it comes to the kind of social and governance side. So, all of the things that you can do on the platform just make it easier to control, I guess, and to be able to understand what your employees are doing with the official communication methods that they have. And I think that's important. So I think another reason why clients like Global Relay and their differentiation is that they are competition to some of our key providers too, like Microsoft, for example, where they have the ability to capture and archive messages within their own platform. But Global Relay aren't their own platform. So where you have the ability to capture outside of the core platform, I think in the case that you can't access or you need to have a secondary copy of the data somewhere for continuity, that gives you that, plus it fills in some of the gaps that you don't have within the Microsoft platform too. So some of the differentiation is quite obvious. It's just you aren't the primary supplier for that method. And as most companies now use Office 365 for their email, it's good to have a copy of your data outside of that ecosystem. And equally, it's not just email now, it's Teams as well and chats. And I don't think the Microsoft platform does the best job yet of capturing all of those medias together. And so having that with Global Relay is also very useful for our client base.